Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. You're watching In Deep on the Delta. This is the weekly report for, I think it's September 22nd. I forgot my phone. You guys that know me know that I don't keep track of the dates very well, so I'll post that date up above my head. I think it's September 22nd. Anyhow, this is the weekly report for the Delta Weekly Fishing Report. And because of the weather front that came in last week, we're going to really concentrate on what's going on this next week, because what happened last week is so far in the past because of the weather fronts and everything, it really doesn't matter. We're going to look forward to next week, so you guys that are coming out Saturday, Sunday, the weekend, and early next week, we'll give you guys a good idea of what you can look forward to. And at the end of the report today, I'll tell you exactly what my plan would be on Saturday, because I see something that I like that's going to come up on Saturday. And I know that a lot of you guys that are working have to be out here on the weekends. I don't normally fish the weekends, but if I was fishing Saturday, I'll tell you exactly what I was doing. Okay, this weekend, big weather fronts come through. Lots of rain, up to an inch, inch and a half, depending on where you were on the Delta. Winds to 30, 35 miles an hour, and just a very unstable barometer, up, down, up and down. Not best fishing conditions. We also had the Wild West that was out here, and the top anglers, not only in the West, but the top Delta anglers were out here. And I want to talk a little bit about what happened with the tournament, because the all in all, the weights were not good. The top 10 guys, especially the top 5 guys, they did really well, had some big bags and did really well. But if you look through the field did not do well. Around 50th place, there were 100 boats. 50th place was right around 11 pounds, 11 pound per day average. Not great for the Delta, especially when you're talking about, the best fishermen out here. But let's talk about the top 10 guys, and we'll talk about the top 2 guys too, because I think there's a real important lesson to be learned here. And it's real simple. Number one, the top 10 guys, if you were in the top 10, you got there by punching, period. Every single one of them punched. Now in the morning, some of them threw a few topwaters, some of them threw chatterbaits, but all in all, it was punch, 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 punch. Top 2 guys. Alex Klein won the tournament. He had 66 pounds. Ken Ma was number 2. He had about a half a pound below Alex. Tale of 2 cities. Alex is from up north. He doesn't know the Delta very well. He admits this. He's not familiar with it. He's not familiar with the tides. He doesn't run the tides. Ken, the local guy, knows the river like the back of his hand, and he puts on a lot of miles. So 2 different philosophies of fishing the Delta, but they both paid off. And that's what I want to stress to you guys that are out here on the weekend. If you're running the tides, or if you are just fishing the water in front of you, doesn't matter. You can be successful. Have confidence in what you're doing, and just work at it, and you can be successful. So Alex, what was he doing? In the morning, he would start off with a chatterbait, catch a few fish, he would go directly to punching. Ken would start off throwing a chopo, which is a whopper plopper, and a buzz bait. As soon as that died off, he went to punching. But by and large, it was all punching. Alex was looking for banks that had moving water, that had fresh vegetation, and had nearby deep water. So he wasn't fishing flats. He was fishing, standard Delta stuff, but again, not running the tides. So I thought that was really interesting. And I also thought it was interesting that out of the top 10 guys, the first day, the average weight of the top 10 was about 19.5 pounds. As this front came through, for everyone, the bite started dropping off little by little. The second day, the average weight was around 17 pounds, and the third day, the average weight was right around 14.5 pounds. So it dropped as those fronts came through. Now, with that being said, Ken Ma, I think he had the biggest, or the second biggest weight of the tournament. On the third day, he had 27 pounds, 26, 27 pounds. So, all over the board. He was in the right place at the right time. anyhow, that's what went on last week. Let's look at this week and talk about what you guys can expect coming out on the weekend and early next week. The water temperatures have dropped in the last 10 days from about 81, 82 degrees down to 71 degrees. 10 degree water temperature drop. The clarity is also dropped a little bit. Last week I was looking at, I'll say, 4 or 5 to 8 feet of visibility, and that has dropped to maybe 3 to 5 feet of visibility. Still good visibility. We'll just call it better color in the water, cooler water temperatures. We have a stable barometer coming up, and we also have a no moon phase starting this, I think Saturday we have a no moon. That is bringing in bigger tidal coefficients, so we're going to have a lot of water movement. All of that, I mean, biologically, if you look at what's going on here, it should mean that that's going to kick the fish in gear. And I can tell you that the last couple days, the reports that I'm getting, the people that are catching fish are catching more and more fish on moving baits. If they're fishing in the morning, they're throwing buzz baits and whopper ploppers, things that are moving really quick. As that bite dies off, they're throwing things like crank baits and chatter baits. Even some jerk bait action has been coming on out here. I'll give you one report that I got from my partner, Coach Ted. He's been out pretty much every day, and he has found a really good crankbait bite. And I'm telling you, Ted's been on this, he's on it every year. He loves to fish crankbaits, and I'm going to twist his arm and I'm going to get Ted out on the boat and go fishing with him, and we're going to do a video on cranking out here. But Ted's catching them on crankbaits. What is he looking for? Staying around the main channel. He's looking for points, he's looking for moving water, and he's looking for depth. Most of the fish he's been getting are, I think he said about 6 to 8 feet deep. So he is throwing crankbaits that will hit that, I'll just say 5 to 8 foot mark, and he is throwing shad colors. He's gotten away from the crawdads, and he's fishing shad imitators. So that's what Ted's doing. He's having a great time. He's not catching tournament winning limits, but he's getting a lot of 2 to 4 pound fish. And I think for everybody coming out here on the weekend, you know, that's what we're interested in. We're looking for action. Another tip that I will give you, if you are fishing the topwater in the morning, make sure you have 2 or 3 different topwaters on. One day they'll hit a buzzbait, one day they'll hit a popper, the next day it'll be a whopper plopper. Those are the 3 baits that I've gotten the best reports on. So if you have those 3 baits on, start off and rotate them through your arsenal until you find which one the fish are reacting to on that given morning. Okay, I told you what should happen. You guys know that generally if I'm fishing on the weekend, it'll be super early or super late. But I'm going to give you the scenario which I would do if I was fishing Saturday. And I have been doing a lot of fishing. My fishing has been oddball fishing because I'm head hunting this time of year. I'm throwing a lot of big baits, a lot of weight baits, and I'm fishing a lot early and late. And I've been having a lot of fun, and I've been having some disappointments. I'm using some new baits, and I haven't got them dialed in. So I've been catching some nice fish, but I'm losing some nice fish. And what the heck? I'm going to do a report on this bait here. I'm not going to show it to you all that fast because I don't want you to know what it is until I do the report. I got a new bait for you, and you're going to want to fish this thing out here. I'm dialing it in right now. It's getting bit up and down this place. It's getting some big fish. And man, I've had some heartbreaks. I've lost a lot of big fish on this thing. But once I get it dialed in, we're going to do this report hopefully in the next week or two. And you guys are going to want this bait if you're fishing out here. Anyhow, so I'm coming out Saturday. I know that my morning fishing hasn't started till after the sun comes up. So I'm not getting up at 3 in the morning. I'm going to get up at a decent hour, but I'm going to be out here right at sunlight. Expect the topwater bite to happen about 15 to 20 minutes after it gets light. I will be fishing wake baits if you want some big fish, buzz baits, chatter baits, or excuse me, buzz baits, whopper ploppers, and poppers during that morning bite. It's going to last for about a half an hour maybe 40 minutes where it's pretty intense, and then it'll drop off and you'll have about a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes more of fishing, but it's going to be, you're going to have to make a lot more casts to get those fish to come up. So expect about an hour to an hour and a half of topwater bite. After that, guess what? If I'm putting my boat in at Paradise Point and fishing local, I'm going to take a break between about 9:30 and 10:30. I'm going over to King Island Grill, and I'm going to have me some pancakes. And about 10:30, I'm going to get back in my boat and be on my spot, because this is my clue or tip. There's going to be a really nice moon phase between 11 and 1 o'clock on Saturday, and it is coinciding with a low incoming tide. By the way, I've been doing my best fishing on low incoming tide. So if it was me, I'd fish the morning, I'd take a break, have a late breakfast, make sure you're fishing about 10:30 through 1 o'clock. And what do you want to look for? You want to look for moving water, points, clean vegetation, and a little bit of depth. Now that bite between say 11 and 1 o'clock where the moon phase is, I would suggest throwing crankbaits, chatterbaits, and jerkbaits. Subsurface, look for 4 to 8 feet of water and give that a try. Now, if that bite materializes like I think it is, you're going to have really good fishing, and about 1 o'clock, 1:30, the bite's going to die off. If you want to fish it out, that'd be great. If it was me, as soon as that bite dies, I'm packing up, I'm going home, and hopefully having a great day where I caught some fish on topwater, had a nice breakfast, and then, picked up with some moving baits and had some fun throwing some chatterbaits or something in the afternoon. So that would be my plan. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys that are sending in the reports, and if you are sending reports in, remember to send them to scooper9561032@gmail.com. I'll make sure I look at those things. Sometimes I pass up or I miss some of the Instagram reports and Facebook reports and things that come from other areas, but I will always check out that Gmail address. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and until next week, I'll see you guys on the water.